Welcome to another edition of Coffee with the Goose. You know, we talk about things that are interesting, fascinating, and irritating. Yeah, I'm the Goose. Glad to have you back. And boy, do I got some news for you. A couple of bits of news, but a little tease there. Got to get my coffee first, right? After all, it is Coffee with the Goose. My coffee, as you know, very strong, like my opinion. Got some creamer in there to make it sweet, just like me, and that's very sweet. All right. First news, a big thank you with humility, okay? Jude, my producer, and I have been doing this a little over 2 years. And our first and only requirement is to have fun and don't be a jerk, okay? Pretty simple. And we've done that, I hope. And we are now at 50,000 subscribers. That's amazing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in day after day, show after show. We really appreciate it. Sometimes, they aren't so good, but we do our best. Sometimes they're really good. And as always, we just have fun. Don't be jerks. And, we're satisfied with the product. So 50,000 subscribers. Try not to get emotional here. Many thanks to you guys. Okay, second bit of news. No, it's not official, even though my fellow YouTubers, it's signed, it's for sure, it's a done deal. No, it's not. Not yet, although it looks like it. Word has it from the people in the know, and that is Bob Arum and Top Rank. It looks like Manny Pacquiao has chosen an opponent for his next fight. And, if this is the case, and it really looks like this is the case, I am very happy, and I know you guys will too. It looks like it's going to be Terrence Crawford. We heard the other names over the last year and a half, 2 years. We heard it was going to be Conor McGregor. Heard it was going to be Mikey Garcia, Ryan Garcia, Errol Spence Jr. Thank God it's none of those guys. With all respect, Manny Pacquiao did not get to be a legend, an icon, an all-time great by fighting schmucks or tomato cans, as they say. He doesn't do that. He's never done that. And this is a great example of why Manny Pacquiao is great. He takes on the best. And, of course, Errol Spence Jr. is one of the best, too. He's undefeated. But, A, he's not what he used to be after that car accident. And, B, I think Pacquiao would, I never say it would be an easy fight, but I think Pacquiao could handle him because Spence is just not quick enough, either with his fists or with his feet. But Terrence Crawford, oh boy, there's a challenge. I think he's the biggest challenge out of all the welterweights for Manny Pacquiao, and I've heard boxing experts say it's the biggest challenge for Pacquiao since Floyd Mayweather Jr. back 6 years ago. So let's set the tape for you, okay, guys? Pacquiao, as you know, and forgive me if I've repeated this, but it's worth repeating. He's a legend. He's 42 years old and still at the top of his game, or near the top of his game. He won the WBA World Welterweight title in his last fight a year and a half ago against Keith Thurman. Now, since he hasn't fought since then, they took the crown away from him, but I think they called him a champion in waiting or some such nonsense. Pacquiao at that time was 40 years old, and Keith Thurman was undefeated and 29 years old. And Pacquiao knocked him down in the first round, 2 minutes into the fight, and hurt him badly with a body shot in the 10th round and won that fight. And Pacquiao, he's a legend in every sense of the word. He has defeated, and look it up now, Floyd fans. Don't just say, oh no, Floyd's beaten more champions. No, he's not. He has not fought more. Let's make it official here. Make it so it makes sense to you. He has not, Manny Pacquiao has had more fights against championship fighters than anyone else, and he's beaten more championship fighters than anybody else. That's already done. So Pacquiao, still a champion in my book. He's now 42. He is an 8-weight class world champion. No one else has come close to that. He is a legend. He has won titles. He's 42, like I said. He's won titles in 4 decades. It's unthinkable. He's been fighting since, I think, 1995. The guy's amazing. And he, he's got his hands full with his next opponent, if in fact that is Terrence Crawford. Crawford, an Omaha, Nebraska native. He is 37-0, another unbeaten champion, 28 knockouts. He is 33 years old. And keep these numbers in mind. That is the age numbers. I'm going to get to that in a second. His last fight was in November when he defeated Kell Brook, another former champion. It was a TKO in 4 rounds, and it was ugly, really ugly. Crawford was going to win the fight. There's no question about that. But and whether you agree with me or not, whether you like it or not, too bad. But look it up. Watch the fight again. He knocked him down once, and they stopped the fight. And Brook was never really hurt that bad. And again, he was going to win it. So be that as it may, Terrence Crawford is the champion, WBO World Welterweight Champion. Now back to the issue of age, okay? Back when I was a kid, it's a long time ago, fighters, when they got to be about 30, a little older than 30, they really started to lose their skill and their quickness, their longevity, and they needed to hang up the gloves. Pacquiao he's just a different animal. He takes good care of himself, and he, contrary to what you may have heard from some people like Keith Thurman, he's never tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs or steroids or anything that he shouldn't do. And at 42 years old, he's still one of the best welterweights in the world. Now, again, when he fought Keith Thurman, he was 40, Thurman was 29. That's an unbelievable 11-year age difference, and he outlasted him and beat him. Now, in this case, he's 42, and Terrence Crawford is 33. So the age difference is not as great. It's 9 years instead of 11 years. So, you can, those people who say Terrence Crawford is going to win, no doubt about it, which to me is foolish, in part because of Pacquiao's age, that falls on deaf ears. We've already heard several so-called experts say, Pacquiao can't handle it. Crawford, and we've heard this before, how many times in Pacquiao's career? We've heard it many times. And so we laugh when we hear it now. Crawford he's younger, he's got greater reach, he's quicker, he hits with both sides, he's southpaw, he's orthodox, he's got quicker feet, he's a tough guy. There's no way Pacquiao can beat him, and Crawford's undefeated. So there's no way Pacquiao can win. Really? Again, we've heard this so many times in Pacquiao's career. Go back now 13 years. I'll admit, this is the first time I saw Pacquiao fight, and I just watched the fight again the other night. Just had nothing better to do. Pacquiao's fight with Oscar De La Hoya. And people, even Pacquiao's people, were saying, Manny, what are you doing? De La Hoya, he's too tough. And the people in the know were saying, Pacquiao, he's going to get killed by this guy. No, he didn't. He embarrassed Oscar De La Hoya and made him quit on his stool and made him retire. So there was the first example I can give, at least since I've been watching Pacquiao, of people saying, there's no way he can win. Well, we saw it again shortly thereafter against Miguel Cotto. Now here's a real welterweight with power and quickness, and Pacquiao got a TKO against him. We saw it against Antonio Margarito. He's too big, and he was too big. And he's just a tough guy. He'll knock Pacquiao out. Pacquiao made him retire. And then, we saw it with Keith Thurman. Again, Pacquiao's too old. Thurman's just too skilled. And Pacquiao beat him handily. So, when people say now, here we go again, Pacquiao can't win. Okay, sure. Go ahead and play that game if you like. I watched, and again, this fight is not for sure yet, but it's starting to look like it will be. I watched two of my favorites, Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, discuss this potential fight between Pacquiao and Terrence Crawford. Now, Max Kellerman, I like this guy, and that's why it saddens me to say Kellerman says Pacquiao has no chance. There's no way he can beat Terence Crawford. Max Kellerman, you should know better. You were the guy who said Pacquiao's the greatest pound-for-pound fighter in history. Come on, Max. Where's your allegiance? Come on. Yeah, he has no chance. We'll see about that, won't we, Max Kellerman? And Stephen A. Smith, he's knowledgeable. He's got a show, but he's in it for the show. And they asked him when the show began, this recent edition, First Take or whatever it was, does Pacquiao stand a chance of beating Terence Crawford? No way. Again, he's too young, too lean, too strong, too quick. Nah. And at the end of the show, Stephen A. Smith said, this is the quote, "I just hope Pacquiao doesn't get knocked out." Stephen A. Smith, don't worry, he's not going to get knocked out. I've only seen Pacquiao get knocked out once, and I'm not going to say Juan Manuel Marquez was juiced, but he was juiced. We all know that. But again, he's a great Hall of Fame fighter, so I'm not taking anything away from Marquez. Pacquiao beat him a couple times anyhow. But guess what? Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith, Terence Crawford may beat Pacquiao. Who's to say? You never say never. But I'll say never to this. And he will never knock out Manny Pacquiao. Mark this day on the calendar. You heard it from me. It ain't going to happen, okay? I'm not going to give a prediction for the fight because A, it hasn't been finalized yet, and B, it takes us a little time to unpackage the different fighters and their skills, their strengths, their weaknesses, but Manny Pacquiao would not sign up to fight Terence Crawford if he didn't think there were some weaknesses. And he's got weaknesses because they all have weaknesses. Even Manny has some. So, they're going to do their homework. They're going to analyze each other, their game plan, their weaknesses, their strengths, and come up with a battle plan. And that's the joy. Oh, by the way, coming up soon, I'm going out to LA, and cross my fingers, I'll have the same luck that Jude and I did a year and a half ago, and we'll get to chat with the legendary manager or trainer of Manny Pacquiao, and that's Freddie Roach at Wildcard Gym, and also Justin Fortune, who owns his own gym in LA, and of course Justin is the strength and conditioning coach for Pacquiao. So we go for the big dogs. We're going to have a great time getting ready, educating you and ourselves for this fight. It's going to be a great one. I'm really excited about it. But they haven't signed the dotted line yet. When they do, we'll let you know, okay? That's it for this edition of Coffee with the Goose. And again, many, many thanks to you guys. We hit the 50,000 subscriber mark. Woohoo! All right. You guys have a great one. I'll talk to you soon.